I'm looking so forward to the unveiling of this new museum piece that I think someone said that people were trying to peek underneath the sheets there. Shame on you. But they didn't up here that told me about that. They didn't. We are excited about this. Thank you so much for coming up from Knoxville. Thank you for your service that you have done in the past. We certainly appreciate that too. We have a little bit of a program here, then we'll get to take tours and then do the unveiling. And the unveiling of the project, Sharon and Martha have much more history on that. They'll be doing that later in the program. The first part of the program there, it seems like we have a special, well, not really recognition, it's a special visitor that has arrived today, and it's Miss Florence Nightingale. Well, we should say Nurse Nightingale. Miss Nurse Nightingale? Thank you. Nurse Nightingale.
Thank you. It is certainly my pleasure to be here to share a few words with you. Let us be anxious to do well, not for selfish praise, but to honor and advance the cause, the work we have taken up. Let us value our training, not as it makes us clever or superior to others, but inasmuch as it enables us to be more useful and helpful to our fellow creatures, the sick, who most want our help. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is Dr. Joanne Moss with ETSU Quillen Hospital, actually. That's the Nurse Nightingale is one of her aliases. Next, from the Mayor's office, the City of Johnson City's Mayor office, I am proud to introduce to you Commissioner Jenny Brock, and she will be reading the Nurses' Proclamation.
Thank you, Becky. First, let me say what an honor it is for me to be here with you this afternoon. And may I also extend thank you. Thank you for all of you in this room who have given so many years of service in the care of others. I'm sure as you look at healthcare today, you're probably nodding your head saying, I'm glad I'm out. It certainly has changed a lot. But you have created a foundation of healthcare in our country that others come to see. So thank you for all of your service. It's a real privilege for me to welcome you also to the City of Johnson City. I hope as you have come in and you are departing, you'll be able to look around our city and see what a beautiful, wonderful place it is. And isn't this Veterans Administration a place that we are so proud of to have right in the middle of our city? It's been a wonderful neighbor. It's been a wonderful place of employment for so many people. So make sure you look around and come back and visit Johnson City in the future. I'm delighted today to read this proclamation, and could I have someone who would be willing to stand up? Thank you. Could you stand right beside me here? From the City of Johnson City, whereas nearly 3.1 million registered nurses in the United States comprise our nation's largest healthcare profession, and whereas nurses must have the strength to care for patients during times of disaster and crisis, the commitment to remain involved in continuing education throughout their careers, and the compassion to provide hands-on patient care at the bedside. And whereas the aging, somebody got me, baby. The aging of the American population and the continuing expansion of life-sustaining technology, the explosive growth of home health care services, and renewed emphasis on primary and preventative care is ever increasing the demand for registered nursing services. And whereas National Nurses Week is celebrated annually from May 6th through 12th in conjunction with the birthday of Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing. And it is time to show appreciation for the nurses who strive to provide safe, high-quality health care. And whereas this year's national theme, Nurses Leading the Way, exemplify that every day nurses step forward, embracing new technologies, resolving emerging issues, and accepting ever-changing roles in their profession. They lead the way for their patients, colleagues, organizations, and the healthcare industry as a whole. Now, therefore, I, Jenny Brock, on behalf of Ralph J. Van Brocklin, Mayor of the City of Johnson City, in cooperation with the National Observance and the American Nurses Association, do hereby proclaim May 6th through 12th, 2014, Nurses Week.
Thank you, Commissioner Brock. And remember, age is only a number. Believe me, I have no idea how old I am, but I think I'm around 30. Is that okay? Is that a good number? I think so. Now, back on to the program. From ETSU College of Nursing, please welcome Dean Dr. Wendy Neary.
As Dean of the College of Nursing at East Tennessee State University, I am honored to be here today to welcome each of you to this important occasion on National Nurses Day. To our honored guests today, the nurses and graduates of the Knoxville General Hospital School of Nursing, their family and friends, Commissioner Brock, Dr. Loury, Dr. Collett, Ms. Hilbert, Ms. Whaley, and other guests, welcome. Many of you have traveled far to be here today, and I thank you for doing so. As you may know, ETSU is recognized for its storytelling expertise and programs. It is fitting that we gather today here at ETSU and the Mtn Home Museum to honor the history and stories of the Knoxville General Hospital School of Nursing, which operated from 1902 to 1956, and to unveil a permanent historical exhibit with a proclamation from the Commissioner that will forever preserve these stories. And I can say during lunch, I listened to many wonderful stories that I will remember. Each of the students, faculty, staff, and administrators of this important nursing program have a story to tell. Many of these stories have been told to family and friends, and others kept to the original author. Many of them have been and will be shared today and remembered in this exhibit. There are many reasons to remember the School of Nursing. One, this was one of the earliest nursing programs in East Tennessee, originating in 1902. Two, the reputation at the turn of the 20th century for this school was so great and nationally recognized that students came as far away as Florida and Arizona to attend. Three, many of the students were from lower economic backgrounds, and many were orphans or were raised by single parents. Bernice Davis Gibbs, a 1941 graduate, stated that her mother sold timber so that she could pay tuition, and when she got to Knoxville, she didn't have the money to send a card home saying that she had arrived safely. Communities also got together to send one of their own to school so that she could return to care for them. This was the case for Eliza Baker Hicks, a 1943 graduate. Students were of all ages and from different ethnicities, and I was fortunate today to listen to many of the stories from some of the nurses who were from the Cherokee background. The graduates of this amazing nursing program have also accomplished much. Many of the graduates served in World War II in the Cadet Nursing Corps, and they will be recognized later. Others were in the Army and Navy Nurse Corps, and for other wars and other times of military involvement. Billy McNamara has told us that these are just a few of the stories and a snapshot of almost 900 individual stories that she has collected. I must point out that Billy is an amazing person, and an example of someone who took an idea and a passion for this nursing program as her mother had been a graduate, and over the years has reached out to as many graduates of this austere program as she could, started a webpage and a Facebook page, and now, along with her research colleague, Dr. Sharon Loury from ETSU, and with the help of Whaley from the Pullman College of Medicine and this museum in Mtn Home, have this permanent exhibit, and I congratulate each of them. I must say that I am touched by this accomplishment that we are honoring today. I too have dabbled in history, writing about nurses who specialize in intellectual disabilities. And this year, ETSU College of Nursing is celebrating 60 years, as we are the oldest university nursing program in East Tennessee. I understand the passion that goes into the work that is accumulated in this exhibit. I know the feeling when you talk to people who were there, who take the time to share their stories, the memorabilia that they have saved, the pictures, and the desire to see each other again. And here we are. Remember this day, soak all of this in. Today is for you, the nurses of Knoxville General Hospital School of Nursing. Welcome to Johnson City, BBA of Mtn Home, ETSU, and to your new exhibit. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Mary. Those are very nice, kind remarks that you made. Next part of our program, it's easy for me to be the president of the VA Museum when you have people like Dr. Sharon Loury and Martha Whaley behind you. These two ladies are the ones that did a lot of the footwork, putting together this program, constantly working. They have the knowledge, and they're here for the meat of your program to do a little bit of background history as well as a video. And Martha will be finishing up right after Dr. Sharon Loury, which is the VP of the museum board, and she's also with ETSU College of Nursing. I will turn the program over to the two expert ladies and the ones that did the majority of the work putting this program together.
The Knoxville exhibit is the first comprehensive and permanent exhibit in the nursing area for the museum. Nursing now has a presence. We're moving forward as well because in the fall will be the ETSU College of Nursing exhibit in celebration of the 60th anniversary. First of all, I would like to pay honor to all of our Knoxville General Hospital nurses, including those who have passed away. You are a generation who has gone before us and are part of the legacy of nursing in this South Central Appalachian region. For nurses today, the past is prologue. How can our profession know where we're going if we don't know where we've been? And you're helping to fill in those pieces. KGH had quite a history and many firsts. You'll be able to see this in the exhibit itself. But most important, I felt, was the 1905 establishment of the Graduate Nurses Association at KGH. KGH then formed an alliance with Memphis and Nashville, which they then became the Tennessee State Nurses Association. So, thank you for your contributions to this nursing exhibit and your willingness to provide us with your knowledge and experiences through these artifacts, photos, and documents. And a special thanks to Mrs. Billy McNamara, who spent many hours collaborating with us so that we were able to learn more about Knoxville General Hospital nursing. The overall nursing exhibit in the museum has the title, The Heritage of Nursing in South Central Appalachia, a Legacy of Caring and Resilience. This title came about as a result of my attending your alumni luncheon last year. As I spoke with many of you and looked around the room, I was struck by the caring in your reflections of practice and patience, as well as your fortitude to carry on under adversity. The word resilience captured my impressions. That was my takeaway message and now is part of the title for our entire nursing exhibit here. There's also a clear connection between Knoxville General Hospital and Johnson City. One of your early graduates became the director of nursing at Memorial Hospital, which became the forerunner for ETSU's College of Nursing. In addition, many nurses who graduated from Knoxville General later went on to practice at the VA right here on this campus. So we honor you. Now I would like to present Dr. Phoebe Pollitt. It was through her collaboration with your Knoxville General historian, Mrs. Billy McNamara, that Dr. Pollitt and I met after learning we both had an interest in Knoxville General nurses, mine being Tennessee and hers North Carolina. As a result of the fact state borders were fluid and we were working on similar school, we formed a partnership which has now taken a new direction to focus on the history of nursing in the Appalachian region. We are developing a consortium among the universities in the region to expand the history of nursing. I would also like to applaud Dr. Pollitt on the recent publication of her book, The History of Nursing of North Carolina. If interested, see her for more information. I now introduce Dr. Phoebe Pollitt.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really honored to be with you all. I wish this was in North Carolina, but if it can't be there, I'm glad it's here. And I'm real proud of all of you. You were the shoulders we stand on in my generation. So I was asked to present some certificates to the nurses and families of nurses that were in the Cadet Nurse Corps. I wanted to tell you all a little bit about the Cadet Nurse Corps so you know why we're honoring these nurses. After America entered World War II, the demand for nurses increased and outstripped the supply, creating a severe shortage of nurses. In order to get more nurses trained quickly to be available for service in the military, as well as to fill the slots in the civilian hospitals with so many nurses on the battlefield, the U.S. Congress passed an emergency act titled the Nurse Training Act. That law created the Cadet Nurse Corps. The bill passed Congress unanimously and went into effect on July 1st, 1943. Applicants to the Cadet Nurse Corps had to be between the ages of 17 and 35. They had to be high school graduates or in college. They had to be in good health, mentally alert, and the cadet nurses, in exchange for their service, were given tuition and a monthly stipend, room and board, and their uniforms. In addition, their schooling was shortened. Nursing school was traditionally diploma programs 36 months, but to meet the needs of World War II, the schooling was shortened to 30 months. So Knoxville General Hospital was one of the hospitals that participated in the Cadet Nurse Corps program and had several students who participated. We've got 3 here today with us and then the families of a few others. Yes, ma'am, here, tell us.
I rode a trip plan from Knoxville, Tennessee to Oakland, California. And we wore black shoes and black hose, and all of you remember that. And we got to the Navy at Oakland Navy Hospital in Oakland, California, and the supervisor said, I believe those southern accents and those black shoes and black hose would be more than these boys could take. So go get you some white shoes and white hose. And we had 8,000 patients there at Oakland Navy Hospital.
Yeah. So this is Miss Trudy Pham. Let's all give her a hand. And Miss Pham, we have a certificate for each cadet nurse and for each cadet nurse's family. So, thank you. Do you want to sit? Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Do I get a piece back? Yes, ma'am. That's for you. That's for you. And now Martha Whaley, who's the chief librarian and head of this museum, and just a wonderful woman.
Yeah, wonderful woman.
Oh, I love Martha. Here she is to tell us some more things.
Okay, I'm the last speaker. Aren't you glad? They're being very polite. Okay, my notes are here on this fancy phone if I can find how to find them. Smile. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the museum very quickly. The mission of our museum is to tell the story of the development of healthcare in South Central Appalachia, and nursing is a huge part of that. That's why we're so delighted that you're here today. This museum is totally run by volunteers and by people who have other full-time jobs. So if you're a volunteer here today, I appreciate you very much.
I am Loury, B. Brantley from Speedwood, Tennessee. I graduated from Knoxville General Hospital in 1946, and I worked there for 10 years, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Mildred Blackburn Allen. She graduated from Knoxville General Hospital in 1942, and she was over the Crippled Children's Hospital at one time.
I'm Paulette Ray Anderson. My mother was Polly Floyd Ray. She graduated in 1943, and she worked at General until it closed in 1956, and then went to UT. And this lady here was one of her friends, and she got married in Berry Funeral Home before when they first made the chapel. Before they'd had a funeral in it, she got married there, and I went to the wedding. I was about 5 years old.
Wait a minute. Put my teeth in.
Tell him about yourself.
She wants you to talk.
Talk to the camera. Tell him about yourself.
Who you are?
I'm a very nice lady. I'm good.
Yes, ma'am. Today's May 6th.
And I'm among friends.
5-6-2014.
Longtime friends. That's enough.
Well, tell him when you graduated.
Oh, I graduated in 1949.
And then what did you do after you graduated?
I worked at George Washington University Hospital in Washington, D.C. in the operating room. That's where they took Reagan. We had all the big wheels, all the rich folks, and we did a good job. And my late husband was a deputy assistant director of the FBI, and he died early at age 47 of cancer.
But I didn't know where you are.
Thank you. No, I don't have a picture of you. This is her in nurses training. So we'll hold it there beside you. Now tell him your name and what year you graduated and about your sister and the cadets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in the cadet nurse school. And my name is Marjorie Curley, Kerley.
Just like anybody else.
And I graduated in 1947. Had a sister who graduated in 1943 before me. And she was supervisor in the Contagion Unit.
Say hey to the camera.
Hey, camera. I'm Nancy Smith Triplett. I graduated in 1955 from nurses training. I worked I got through at 12 o'clock noon, went to work at 3 o'clock in surgery at General Hospital. And worked there until it closed, moved it to UT and worked there for 4 years, and then moved up here to VA and worked up here 4.5 years. Went back to UT, but I also did research at Emory University in Atlanta.
And you were a supervisor in the emergency
Operating room. I was the head nurse in operating room for 20 years at UT.
Well, my name is Jean Bates, and I graduated in 1952. I went to Kingsport to Holston Valley for my first job. I was there about 6 months, and wasn't much going on, so I came back, and I got married in the following spring, and worked at the pediatrics at General, and then I worked OB, labor and delivery for a little while, and then I had 3 children and didn't work for a long time.
I'm Melissa White Stamps. I graduated in 1951 from the old Knoxville General Hospital. I had years at private duty nursing, worked at Eastern State Psychiatric Hospital about 4 years when Miss Keller was the head honcho out there. Then I went to work with TBA and worked 25 years and retired from TBA. And now I'm retired at home enjoying my life.
I'm Annette Fryer Stevens, and my mother was Anna Lau Fryer, and she graduated in the class of 1931 from Knoxville General Hospital. And after she graduated, she worked at Knoxville General, I believe, for about a year, and then she went to work at the University of Tennessee Infirmary under a doctor named Dr. Brashear. And she's worked there till 1937 when she retired to be a homemaker and have a family. And so she didn't practice nursing as a profession anymore after that.
I graduated in 1952 and moved to Memphis and worked a lot in polio nursing, and then got the Mann that I found in Knoxville, which was the best thing I left with. And and then I went to, we lived in California for 13 years, and I did public health out there, and we moved back to Virginia, and I didn't work until the last child was through high school, in college, and then I went back and did public health for several years till I retired.
Well, I graduated in 1948. I was offered a job in surgery before I got out of training, and I took it at the hospital. In later years, after having two boys, marrying and having two boys, I worked at private duty until 1988, way before cardiac units or all of that sort of units they have now. So that's the last I worked in 1988.
I'm Vicki Dotson. My mother was Eileen Cook. She later became Eileen Call. She graduated from General Hospital School of Nursing in 1948. Went to work doing private duty around the hospitals in Knoxville. And later went to work at the East Tennessee Chest Disease Hospital and stayed there until it closed. From there, she went to work at the Knox County Jail. She was the first registered nurse hired by Knox County, and she stayed there until she retired. She had the two girls and lived the rest of her life in Knoxville. She had come to Tennessee from East Ohio, never regretted the move, and never wanted to go back.